Howdy, y'all. It's me. It's Sam. I've been in a good mood today. Like before I felt like I was in a good mood, but then like something would set me off and then my whole day would be ruined. So I felt like making a video today because of two things that happened. First, my dad. Okay, no, I'll get to that later. First, and my only point is that I was reminded that the new live-action Little Mermaid exists, and I'm like kind of excited to see it. It's been out for a while. I think like a couple of months, maybe a month. I don't know. And then there was Back to Neverland, I think, and there was they had a lady play Barbie. They had her play Tinkerbell, and she was brown. And my dad was like, "Look what the woke liberal media is doing to our classic films." And I was like, "Okay, Dad, relax. It's just Tinkerbell. It's not that serious." So I want to talk about something, and I think my opinion as a white person is actually important on this matter because there needs to be like this middle ground. Okay, just so you know, not all white people think or are mad that there are black people that are being actors in roles that were traditionally white. I just want to say that I don't know everything about this topic, but I wanted to play sort of a devil's advocate. Well, no, that doesn't. I see both sides. So let's get into it, guys. So this started because movies. We all watch movies at least a few times, and you know, as times have progressed, past like 5 years, I think there's been a lot more black people in the media. And by the way, I don't like the term black people and white people because like I feel like it drives a wedge between people, because it's like these people are white, these people are black. They're two different sides of the spectrum, but instead we should be seeing it as a spectrum, like tan to dark brown. So like it's more like we have things in common, you know? But like also maybe it's sort of like a what's it called? A reclamation of the word black, you know? Because a lot of times in I don't know about African culture, but oh my god, I have 16 minutes left. What the? Oh Christ. Anyway, okay, I can finish this video. A lot of times in white people culture, European culture, the word black is used as like an evil, malicious kind of term, like black magic, the black dark arts, you know? So it's like using the word black to describe someone, it's almost like mostly it's the separation of the two, like black and white instead of like a spectrum, but also because black is usually used to describe something bad. But anyway, more black people in movies. That's fine, that's cool, that's lit. I can't believe I used the word lit. Anyway, so, whoa. Oh, that's just my glasses. Okay, so, I just want to say, you know, like, I really don't care. There are black people in movies, guys. Like, is that really crazy? Is that really crazy to say? My dad's very, like Republican, anti-liberal things. And then when, like, he has to deal with the consequences of thinking stuff like that in a with two somewhat liberal kids. And, like, just today we had a conversation with him about how his views on trans people are hurting his transgender son. Whoa, you ever think of that? You ever think of those views being harmful to your son? He almost cried. Not my dad, but Damien, my brother. He almost cried. So, anyway. So, the main thing that I was confused about, which obviously I didn't think about that much. I was like, you know, I really don't care. To be honest, guys, a little secret, but I think black people in movies, they're like gorgeous. They're really pretty. Why would I care if a black person was on screen? So, like, my dad, he'd get upset. He'd be like, ugh, liberals casting black people in stereotypical white people roles. And I'd just be like, you know, like, don't talk to me about that because I don't want to get into it. There's like really no room for debate. There's like no point in debating anyway. I don't even believe in it anymore because debates are so useless. Everyone is stuck in their ways because everyone thinks they're right. I think I'm right, so. But also I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle, but more leaning towards, you know, just let people do what they want. So an issue that I realized was, if when white people tried to play black people roles, people got very upset about that. That's not very nice. That's not very right. But black people can play white people roles, and then when white people get upset about it, it's like, it's not a big deal, you know? So, in a way, I understand, but also I feel like white people just don't understand the struggles that these people still go through. They think that racism is done, sexism is gone, because civil rights movement and ladies can vote now, so there's no issues. So white people like to think that we should all just be friends, you know, which we should. Everyone in their hearts thinks that we should all just be together as a race, as a whole peoples. And sometimes if you don't, you're kind of in the minority. A lot of people just want to be together. But people don't want to forget about their past. And white people really do, because they kind of realize that, hey, we did a lot of bad things. But some people are in denial so much that it's like, well, you know, my dad was making the point of like, oh, well, white people were slaves first, and, you know, they always teach that black people are slaves, but actually white people were the first slaves, and then Asians, and then people only think that white people own slaves, but, like, that's not the issue anymore. I don't know if that's true. I know Italians were slaves. I'm Italian, but I'm not like, you white people own me as slaves because that was so long ago. I don't even know. I was there. I don't know what happened. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But if it affects someone, then it's going to be brought up again. So there's still a lot of turmoil in these minority communities. And also, I don't even want to be that kind of person, like, sorry, there's thunder outside. There's a lightning shower happening right now. So, I don't want people to call me, like, a white savior. I don't even really know what that means, but I don't think I can save anyone. I can't even save my own minorities. I can't save females. I can't save the non-binaries. I can't save the trans people. I can't save women. I can't stop bad things from happening to them. So why do I think I can help? Well, why do I think I can stop just racism? Because you can't. I would love to help. If I had money, which the only times I get money is from my parents, so they would really not approve of me going and spending money on charity. Especially, like, before, I tried to buy my friends gifts with the money they gave me for, like, to buy clothes, and they were like, I'm not gonna let you do that because this is for you to buy clothes. So talk to my parents about it, okay? But if I get a job, I really want to donate to the oh, it's been so long, I don't remember the charity, but it's to help Native American people on the reservations to get good stuff. It was like one of the biggest ones. National I thought it was National Heritage Association of Native Americans, but that's not the name. Anyway, that's not the point. So I don't want to be a white savior thinking that I know everything about these problems, but I feel like white people don't exactly realize that those people who are suffering can't just be like, oh, let's just be friends with white people now, because that'll solve all of our issues, because it won't. And to be honest, I understand a lot of the hatred that these people still feel for white people. Like, it breaks my heart, because, like, I don't do any of that. I don't mean to participate in any of that, but by being a white person, you have to, in a way, you have to take responsibility for it, because your ancestors did something wrong, and they left this planet, and the people who started it just got off scot-free, so now in the present day, you're dealing with that. So I can see how white people can get a little mad. You can be like, I'm done with taking all the responsibility for this because I didn't actually do anything. I believe that that's true. You probably didn't do anything. However, you're still not completely understanding of what has happened, because if you're being mad about it, being mad at the suffering that these people are still going through, and then, like, people don't understand that small things, like, stereotypes that people say about people, even if it's something, like, really that you don't think is a big deal, you're not swearing at them, you're not trying to be hateful, but by saying something that is very ignorant, these minorities who deal with it all the time, it piles up, and then their ancestors dealt with it, their family has probably dealt with it, they've probably dealt with it sometimes in their lives, and even if a person of color or of someone who's non-white, even if they haven't gone through it, they usually know that that's kind of rare, and it's sad, but I feel like white people they just want to forget. But it's not for them to try and forget because they don't have to deal with those issues. They think sometimes they have to deal with those issues. Like I said, I'm Italian. I'm not from Italy. My recent ancestors were from Italy. We came to America in the 1880s and early 1900s, I think. So it's still pretty recent, like 2 lifetimes ago. And the worst racism I deal with is, oh, spaghetti, meatballs, pizza, and it's like, I've dealt with it so much now. Not in real life, because I'm around other Italians, other Irish people. I've met, some of my friends are Greek. We're all white, okay? We're all white, we're all European. But like online and stuff, like, no, it's not towards me. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but I'm saying I can understand why it gets on people's nerves. Like, people always try and make the Italian jokes because they're like, oh, these people haven't dealt with such bad racism, so it's fine to make fun of them. It's reverse racism. I don't believe in reverse racism either, because that doesn't solve anything. And who knows, what if back in the day, that's how we got here? It was reverse racism. Like, maybe back in the day, this is a hypothetical, I'm not saying it's true because I don't know, but like, what if back in the day, like, if it was a race, if it was like, an argument between black and white communities, what if originally white people were mad at black people for bad things they did to their community, and then white people started being super racist towards them, reverse racism happened, and now we're still dealing with that today. So it's like, I'm saying that could happen again. It didn't happen because I don't know if it happened. Maybe it did, I don't know. But, reverse racism, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty hard stance. I don't think it's right. I don't think it solves anything. And you could tell me, you know, like, it's fine because these people haven't gone through enough, but I wouldn't wish harm on anyone, even if they haven't gone through it. So I wouldn't want to do damage on communities, even if they're more fortunate than you. And bringing back to my original point of African people in movies, it doesn't matter, man. And a lot of people want that representation for their communities because they don't have someone to look up to. And I think about that whenever I see colored people or different race people in movies, and they're not, like, badly portrayed. I don't really know what's badly portrayed. I just get a vibe that it's like, hey, that is sending a bad message. Like, if someone in another country is watching a movie and it's like white people, they're not gonna be like, oh, white people, they must be like unintelligent and dirty and like super rude because that's what this movie is portraying. Because a lot of people, even in like places far away, like in Africa, there's still people living in Africa, yes, but like that haven't really seen a lot of white people, they would still know that, again, I'm assuming, I'm just saying because how the world is, they'd assume that, hey, white people aren't like that. Because there's just a lot of representation, there's a lot of white people. White people are everywhere, because we can go everywhere. They're really fortunate people from other countries, other than America, and other than European places, that can travel everywhere, but that's rare. Like, I don't really see a lot of, a little bit more black people now, but I don't really see a lot of people, like, Asian people, yes, but like, let me see, I don't even know, someone who looks very different, someone who definitely doesn't look white, or, you know, someone who's discriminated against a lot, they're not going to want to travel in the first place because who knows what it would be like out there. And as a white person, you don't really have to deal with that. There are some places like the Middle East where those people are very angry about stuff that I don't fully comprehend. But I did read a book on religious terrorism, so I know a little bit about it. But there's very rare places that white people can't go to, at least won't feel safe in, unless you're already prejudiced. My dad, he was very upset at me for wanting to do the, God, I always forget the name. What is it? Peace Corps. It's called Peace Corps. You travel for free, everything is covered, and you just help communities in other places. Not necessarily minorities, because it isn't in America. You leave America, you go overseas. That's like a dream come true. Travel for free and then you get to help people? Like, why would I not want to do that? My dad, the whole time he was going, because he thinks it's very dangerous in any other place other than America, because he's been misinformed all of his life. He's been sheltered all of his life, guys, and he doesn't care about doing real research. He watches Fox News, Ben Shapiro, what's his fucking name, Gutfield. He watches stuff like that, and even like, I know, like, I don't watch those things, but I know because of how he thinks that it's not right. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with being a traditionalist, but sometimes when people get very Republican, I don't know what other way to describe it. I don't believe in the politics situation like that, but people who are very close-minded, they start to get radicalized. And there are things like radical feminists, radical liberals, and it could get dangerous, like reverse racism, reverse sexism, reverse things. When it has reverse in front of it, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad because it's trying to fix something by doing the opposite. It's fighting fire with fire. It just makes it worse. Guys, we need, as white people, the best thing we can do is open our hearts and open our minds and open our ears, because, like me, I am in lower middle class. As you can see around me, I have things, but that's because my parents, especially my mom, spend a lot of time. I have 1 minute left of recording. Spend a lot of time making sure I have everything I need, but we still have issues with housing. We can't pay bills. We're in a lot of credit card debt. We're not rich people. We're not upper middle class, and I can't do much to help people out there that aren't. I can't even help my own people. But what I can do is I can try to be there and listen and want to help. And that's the bare minimum. I don't feel like that's a white savior thing, because it's not very noble to do that. You know? That's a basic thing, and if you think it's noble, then you've been misinformed, because that's just human rights, you know? So that's the end of my video, I guess. I don't know why I felt like I needed to talk about it. I've just been reminded. I just like to get things off my chest. So yeah. Bye, guys.